Hello everyone and welcome to a new reading. Today we are going to continue with the TXT individual readings. I only need 2 more people, so today we're going to do Taehyun's individual reading, and then on Friday I will, if everything goes as planned, I will complete all of the individual readings for TXT. So in this video we're going to check 4 different areas of his life, which will be his current energy, his career, his love life, and then any healing messages that come through. And in the description below, I will have the timestamps in case you want to jump in between sections. And with all of that said, let's just jump into his current energy to check how is he doing right now. Oh, nice. So the first 3 cards that we have right here are a very good sign. The Nine of Cups usually talks about a wish fulfillment. It talks about someone that is emotionally fulfilled, satisfied, someone that has accomplished maybe a goal or their dream has come true in some way, shape, or form, and there's a sense of happiness and a sense of like feeling complete, feeling like there's this good closure in the horizon kind of thing. And I'm saying in the horizon because the Nine of Cups is like one step away from completion. Is like the 10 of Cups will be the symbol of like the end of a journey. So the 9 of Cups is saying like, oh, we're like one step away from reaching the end of that chapter or that goal or that journey. So for Taehyun, this 9 of Cups is kind of showing that he may have reached like a stepping stone, or there's like a dream that he was able to accomplish, or something that came true. And because of that, he feels pretty happy, he feels very satisfied, he feels fulfilled and content, basically. So this is a good sign to start off. Now, the next card that we have here is the Ace of Pentacles reverse. So usually when this card is upright, we're talking about like a new opportunity, a new chapter. It might be related to money, career, maybe even his health. And it's supposed to kind of show how like the universe, or out of nowhere, this opportunity kind of like falls from the sky. So I do feel that currently he may be waiting for a project, or he may be waiting on an opportunity to kind of like open up for him. So maybe a dream has accomplished, he accomplished some dream, or like there was like one of his goals or one of his dreams came true. So now he's just kind of waiting to see when to either take action or when to like solidify something. So maybe an idea, a feeling, an intention came through successfully, and now he's just kind of waiting to see if he can like go through with like making it something tangible. So maybe right now he's in a good mood, or maybe he feels pretty accomplished, pretty confident. So now he's kind of waiting to see how can he use those positive emotions to kind of help him fuel towards a new goal in life that he may be setting. This could be regards to his career. When we have the Ace of Pentacles reversed, it could be a couple of things as to why this new beginning is not taking off, or this opportunity hasn't presented itself for him. And in this case, it could be like either it's not the right time, or he doesn't have the right resources quite yet, or he hasn't met the right people for this opportunity to kind of work out. Or there may even be a chance that there's still some more planning that he has to do before this, or like or some sort of like preparation that he has to work on. Maybe like working on his skills. I think working on his like positivity is fine. Like he's okay with that with his 9 of Cups. But I think he may have to work a little bit more on like manifesting what he visualizes this project to look like. And there might be some sort of like inexperience that may be holding him back a bit. I don't think he's necessarily resisting this. I think this is more along those lines of like this opportunity hasn't presented itself towards him, and he can feel like this vacancy within him, like this feeling of like he's missing something, or like this feeling of like he has to wait for something to take off. And by taking off, I mean like for the opportunity to even like come his way, basically. So that could be the reason why this Ace of Pentacles is reversed. It's like there's something new out there for him, but it hasn't fully presented itself to him. The other card that we have right here is the Prince of Pentacles, and this is the equivalent to the Page of Pentacles. So this kind of shows, again, a symbol of a new beginning, a new journey. Usually pages are supposed to like represent someone that is very young, an energy that is very inexperienced. It's like an idea that is about to be planted or about to take off. So in his case, this kind of shows that he's kind of like looking towards the future, visualizing what type of goals and plans he wants to like take on and which endeavors he wants to go on in his life. I do feel that with all this Pentacles energy, this is related to his career. So when we get to that section of his reading, we might get more information. But again, this Page of Pentacles kind of shows that he is kind of working on himself. There might be skills that he still wants to develop. There might be a lot of things that he still needs to learn in order to get like an idea of like get the fuller picture of how things work and how to manage whatever path he wants to take on. And also, I do feel that there's this sense of like whatever it is that he wants to start in his career is something quite solid. It's a plan, or it's an offer or an idea that it's meant to be long lasting. So I do feel that that could be the reason why, even though he seems to be in a very good energy, he's still maybe working either on his skills or planning very carefully and just waiting for the right time to take on this new chapter in his life. Again, he could be waiting for the opportunity to come in, and the way that the universe is like, the only reason why the universe hasn't presented this to him is because there's still some work that he may have to do to prepare for it. And I do feel that this is in regards to his skills. Now let's go into his career to see what's going on in there. We have Jupiter, a planet of expansion. And then we have two cards, a balsamic moon, a time for healing, and a super moon with emotions are running high. So there's this sense of, in his career, there's a lot of things that he wants to do. He has a lot of ideas, a lot of energy, and also a lot of positivity, like fueling him and like moving him around. With Jupiter, there's this sense of like there's a lot of moving energy. There's a lot of, it could be emotions that are being enhanced, knowledge that is coming in and out, experiences that are just kind of flowing through, adventures and exploration. So I do feel that in his career, he may be looking at his options, and I do feel that it's not necessarily like, oh, he's gonna stop being a singer. I don't know if any of you were fearing that, but like, I don't think he's necessarily leaving that. But I do feel like he may be thinking of ways to communicate his message. He may be thinking which concepts does he want to like tackle. He may be even exploring like the best method or the best process to completing anything in regards to his job. I don't think he's necessarily doing something new, as much as nothing new in regards to like the work that he puts out there for like the fans, but more along the lines of like his approach and his process to getting that work done. That's probably what he's trying to expand his knowledge on. But yeah, with the time for healing, I do feel that in his career, he's just trying to take things easy, try to take his time. He's trying to make his work as enjoyable as possible, trying to not get hung up on any sort of baggage, trying to not have these crazy expectations that can become like pressure for him. He's trying to take things very chill, trying to just be like, go at his own pace. So he's not rushing, he's not comparing himself to others. He's just kind of going down his own path, doing his own thing, and just focusing on himself and his goals. With the emotions are running high, I do feel that there's this, in this Jupiter energy, there's this sense of there's a lot of potential in his career. There's a lot of growth that he can still get, maybe with knowledge and skills. I do feel that those are like the two main things that he's focusing on. So there's a sense of like there's a lot of things he can expand on. There's a lot of things that he can continue exploring. There's still a lot of limitations he can push and boundaries he can push within him, so he can like break and continue growing as an artist. And I do feel that because of how, in a way, how happy and content he has been feeling right now, he has had the energy and the headspace to heal any fears and doubts and worries that could hold him back, and instead push himself forward to try new things and explore new sides of himself and try to figure out this new interest that he could have within his career that could help him expand his way of thinking, and also in a way expand the type of concepts that he could approach in his career. Now let's get a little bit more details about his career. Perfect. 2 cards. So we have Justice and the Chariot. So when we have the Chariot, that's usually like it's talking about movement and like feeling pretty confident about moving forward and getting things done. It's like you have decided on a journey, on a path, or some sort of like goal or whatever, and you just kind of move forward to accomplish it. You go full force, ready to get to that point, right? So with this card being reversed, I do feel like he's kind of hesitating with taking action. He's not really getting things done or moving forward despite all of this expansive energy that we see in his career. And again, the reason being is that he's still working behind the scenes, or he's working on creating a stronger foundation based on his knowledge and on his skills before he actually takes action in making maybe a plan, or even getting even suggesting a project that he would like to work on. So this Chariot reverse is just kind of showing that he is still taking his time with taking action, for the simple reason that he's still kind of trying to figure out what possibilities are out there for him, or even what he's interested in to kind of push for those ideas or for those concepts in his career. Also, we have the Justice card. So here we have Cancer and Libra energy, which is 2 cardinal signs, showing that he definitely wants to take action. He definitely wants to take the initiative of trying something new in his career. Like, he's not necessarily afraid of taking that first step, and he's not resisting either. I think this is very important. The reason why he's not taking that step is not because of even if he's working through his fears and doubts, it's not coming from a place of pain. It's coming from a place of just wanting to improve himself as a person, and just naturally figuring out what could be holding him back. But with this Justice card, it's kind of showing that he is just trying to make sure that he is in a very harmonious, balanced place. He wants to have he's trying to gather a lot of knowledge, so he is able to have the clarity necessary to make wise decisions. And I think these wise decisions are coming from a place of understanding who he is as a person, understanding very clearly what his goals are, like what his intentions or what his aim is moving forward. So like that, when he takes action or when he makes decisions, he's able to make sure that he's staying loyal to his heart and not being swayed by other people's expectations or other people's influence. So there's a sense of being able to have, in a way, blind trust in his own person, in his own skills, and in his own thoughts. Because the Justice card is supposed to kind of show, of course, we could talk about justice. There's a sense of balance and harmony, but there's also this sense of, since it's connecting to Libra energy, is the ability to have very good discernment and the ability to think clearly. So I do feel that that's where he's coming from, being able to, he's going through healing, so that he's able to trust in his own ideas and his own opinions, and being able to see things clearly. Either the information coming in, maybe advice from other people, or just information in general, and then being able to clearly express what it is that he wants to communicate to others. So until he works through that, then that's when he will be able to take action, because I do feel that he's also deciding what path he wants to take in his career. And until he figures that out, that's when he will be able to kind of physically start planning, throwing out ideas, and taking action. Now let's go into his love life and figure out what's going on there. Wait. So we have air. And we have New Moon in Scorpio, with work through your fears. So in his love life, with air, we have Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius energy. So there's this sense of like he's trying to find balance and harmony. He's trying to be free flowing. I think he's trying to find a balance between being able to think logically, but also being able to listen to his heart. Because here we have water energy with the Scorpio card that we have here. And when with this new moon, we have like a new beginning, a new chapter in his life. So I do feel that his new way of thinking and his new approach on things, the positivity that has come into his life, will naturally affect all areas within him. Because not only is his mind changing, but also his person is changing. And by what I mean by his person, I mean like his way of putting himself out there in the world is changing. Because of like his way of seeing and perceiving the world seems to be so positive that he's being a bit more lighthearted in other areas of his life. And in his love life, we're seeing how he's trying to find like a better way of communicating. I think he may have struggled before with having clear communication in his love life. And one of those reasons why he may have struggled with it is because of fears that could have held him back, and worries and doubts. And I do feel that in this case, he may have repressed or kept a lot inside of him, and because of that, he was not communicating clearly to others. And I do feel that in this case, it could be in any sort of relationship that he had, maybe with coworkers, maybe with fans, maybe with like romantic interests, family, friends, co-workers. If I mentioned it twice, and this must be important, right? Like whoever he works with, he may have struggled a lot to communicate how he was feeling, especially may it be anything negative. And I think the reason why he struggled a lot was simply, this is just boiled down to personality. He kind of kept it within him and was like, I'll deal with it myself, or it's not a big deal. I think that he may have lied to himself by kind of like minimizing. I don't think it gets the feeling across, but that's not the word I'm looking for. But it's kind of like he was playing down whatever his emotions were. If they were very overwhelming to him, he would just kind of play it down and be like, it's not a big deal. Or he will not outright communicate it to other people, even if they asked him if he was okay or not. So with this new moon, he's turning this new leaf in his love life. And with this healing and this positivity that we saw earlier, he's naturally just kind of going through like this self-love and self-healing type of vibe, where now he's going into this new chapter in his life where he's kind of like working through those fears and healing those things that may have like pushed him to not really talk about what he felt, and maybe not communicating clearly what it is that he was thinking of. And now he's working through all of that so he can have like better communication with people. As we saw earlier with this Justice card, he's also trying to find like this balance and harmony within him in order to, I guess, live like a more peaceful life, and again having this clear mind and have this discernment to make wise decisions. And in his love life, these wise decisions will be expressed as clear communication, and will also allow him to be open with people in a way that he had not been open with before. So I do feel that he will find it easier to kind of express what he's feeling and not just outright say, this is how I felt. So in a way, being able to show it a bit better. So he is also learning how to work with his heart, and rather than being like super logical, he's reaching this balance where he's just able to not suppress his emotions as much and like actually pay attention to them, and therefore give it the importance necessary to communicate that to others. So if anyone ever said anything that bothered him, now he's able to kind of express, this bothers me, so like calm down or like chill. I don't know how well he is at communicating those things, but at least he's already attempting to kind of speak up for himself, basically. Now let's get a little bit more information about his love life, though. The first card that we have is the Eight of Pentacles reversed. I'll take them all, actually. So this Eight of Pentacles reversed, I do feel that he's working hard to not work as hard with his career. okay, let me rephrase that. He's trying to pay more attention to the people that he cares about and the people that he loves by not focusing only on work and trying to make some time for them. I heard like this bell or like this ringing on my left ear, but it's not like the typical ringing that people usually hear when they feel like their higher self is talking to them. This it felt like a bell type of thing, like a notification perhaps, but it's bizarre to me because I don't have a notification that sounds like that. So I do feel that this could have been a sign that he does pay more attention when people talk to him or try to contact him. So if like people that he care about contacted him or sent him a message, he will be so busy that he will like always push them aside and be like later for later. But now he's trying to make that effort to actually focus on those people he treasures and try to communicate with them, even if it's something as simple as just answering their texts and being like, I'll talk to you later. Like, I think something like that. He's putting the work and the effort to stay in contact with those that he cares about. The other card that we have here is the Six of Cups reverse. So this card kind of shows that he may have forgotten a lot about his childhood, or he may have neglected a lot of the people from his past, again because of his work. So I do feel that in here in his love life, he's putting that effort, like he's taking now the initiative and that first step to reach out to those people that he cares about, the people that he felt he may have neglected because of how busy he has been. So I do feel that now that he's a bit happier, he's a bit more relaxed, he now has made like the time and space to be able to pay attention to those people he cares about. The other card that we have right here is the Ace of Cups reverse and the Four of Wands reverse. So the Ace of Cups could talk about romance, like a new romantic relationship coming in, but in this case I do feel that this is very general as well, just like the people that he cares about and the people that he loves. Like this Ace of Cups reverse is kind of showing that he's still working on putting his heart out there and fully expressing his emotions. Like I think he still hesitates a little bit and like to process and think about his emotions and then kind of saying it. So he hasn't reached the full, and I think this could be just his personality though, but he hasn't reached that point where he can freely and in a very spontaneous way just kind of show how he feels. Right now he's still saying how he feels. So I hope you like can catch the difference here. Instead of like having a sad face to and like showing that to the people he cares about, he just kind of says, yeah, I feel a bit sad today. I hope you understand the difference. So with this card reverse, I do feel that he's not really open to starting new relationships with anyone because he's focusing on mending the relationships he felt he neglected in the past. Maybe friends, family, co-workers, anyone that he cares about that he felt like he was ignoring or pushing to the side because of his work. He's trying to go back to those relationships and trying to make those better and try to work through those. So with this Ace of Cups reverse, I feel like he's not necessarily open to new friendships, to new relationships of any sort, because he's still trying to make sure that the ones he cares about are in a stable standing or are doing okay. Lastly, we have the Four of Wands reverse, which talks about celebrations, weddings, home. So in a way, it can even be connected to family. So with this card reverse, I do feel that he's working on creating a stable home. Again, because he's making sure that he's connecting back to the people that he cares about. And all of these cards reverse kind of show me that he is working on it. Like he's in the process of. Because these cards are all pretty good when they're upright. And when they're reversed, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Because his energy is so positive that this is just kind of showing that these are the things that he's kind of working on. And he hasn't fully, like, stabilized them to the place that he will feel, like, comfortable with. I think he's still, he's still talking to the people from the past. And he still doesn't feel like he has mended wounds of absence of sorts. Like, that's the best way I can describe it. So with this card reversed, this Four of Wands, it's kind of like he's still working to stabilize his home, his family, and his friends, and those relationships. And the best way that he's doing this is by just communicating with them a bit a bit more often, trying to reach out to these people first and trying to make sure that he listens to them and that he has these conversations that show that he cares about them. So he's still working through that. To end up his reading, let's take out the healing messages. Let's see what healing messages are there for him. The first card that we have is the Butterfly Spirit reversed with Transformation is Beautiful. We have the Crow Spirit reversed with Co-Create with Spirit. And the last card is the Wombat Spirit with Be at Home. And the Wasp Spirit with Sometimes Life Stinks. I don't know why I was going to say something new. Maybe something new is entering his life. So with the Butterfly Spirit reverse, it's just kind of showing that he's just transforming, he's changing, he's still in the process of, like, things are still cooking, things are still, like, boiling, like, there's this thing where he's still working on what he wants, what he wishes, what his goals are. He's still kind of figuring out which version or which side of him he wants to work on to be able to become the best version of himself. And because of that, this Butterfly Spirit is reversed because he's still working through that. He's still going through, he's like in a transitioning place where he's still figuring out what he wants out of life, how he wants to approach those things, and who he is as a person. So in this case, this card being reversed is not necessarily a bad thing as much as he's still in the process of. So I think he hasn't really figured out how these changes are beneficial because he hasn't necessarily seen the results or the payoff for changing his way of doing things and his way of viewing them as well. With this Crow Spirit reversed, it feels like since he hasn't really figured out who he is and where he wants to go in life, he hasn't really worked with Spirit and with the universe with manifesting his future. Simply, again, he's still gathering like pieces here and there. So he hasn't made a decision of what path he wants to take or what type of lifestyle he wants to live or what type of career he wants to do. Again, I'm not saying that he's changing careers, but I'm saying like his approach or like which path he wants to like put his energy and work into. So with this Co-Create with Spirit reverse type of energy, it's kind of showing that that life is still working with him to create something a bit more concrete. Like there's still a lot of potential and a lot of energy up in the air, and there's nothing set on stone quite yet. So in his healing messages, there's this kind of thing of like he can't really manifest or work with Spirit in creating something or creating a path for himself, because right now the way that he's working with Spirit is by just healing himself and getting to know himself better, and in a way knowing what he wants so that he can establish goals for himself. Now with the Wombat Spirit that we saw here, this is the last card of this Oracle deck, so it feels like he's reaching the end of this cycle where he's feeling more comfortable with himself, with his way of thinking, with his decision making. So again, we got a lot of like he's kind of clearing his mind and healing that side of himself, and he's getting better communication with family as well, or at least people that he cares about. That with this Wombat Spirit with Be at Home is like he's not taking action outwardly because he's still putting a lot of energy within himself to feel comfortable within him and feeling confident with his decisions, his mind. And all of those things will create such a strong foundation that he will be able to kind of take action and getting things done in his life, because he will be sure of his decisions. He will know what his intentions are, so then he won't be too attached to the results of whatever he's working on. And that will allow him to kind of have this pressure off his shoulders and get rid of this unnecessary weight and baggage that will make it easier to go through this process of accomplishing his dreams. So with Be at Home is just this sense of just finding confidence and stability. And that's one of the things that he's working on right now in his life. Lastly, we have the West Spirit reverse with sometimes life stinks. And I do feel that this is just kind of showing that he's just working through his fears. He's learning from his mistakes. He's learning from the things that didn't work out for him. He's acknowledging the disappointments that he may have had with life. May it be because of promises that didn't go through, or maybe not getting the results that he had expected. Like, he's coming into terms with those type of emotions that can make life a bit difficult and a bit challenging, and he's kind of overcoming those things slowly but surely. And that's because that's part of his healing, that's part of his transformations. I mean, we got a new moon in Scorpio with work through your fears, so this kind of shows that there's still things that he has to work on. I don't think this necessarily, how should I put it, I think he's in a good place, and therefore this baggage or fears that he may have worked through or heal through are not that bad. They don't feel that heavy, because he's kind of reaching the end of that healing. And by reaching the end of that healing, I don't mean that he will never have issues ever again. I just mean that for this cycle that he's going through, he's already reaching the end, which will allow him to be like this upgraded new version of himself that's a bit more stable and confident. So I'll leave this reading here. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I thought his love life was very interesting because I usually don't get this general like family vibes, which I think I may have gotten someone like a year or two ago that their love life was related to family. So yeah, in love life, usually for younger idols, I get self-growth and healing, which we kind of got with him, but that was throughout his whole reading. And of course, for older idols, I do get love life related to like maybe the type of partner they're looking for. So with him, I thought it was interesting that it was more related to healing old wounds and making sure that he has stronger connections with the people he cares about. And yeah, his reading was pretty consistent. This whole idea of like just healing and growing and transforming into this new version of himself where he can think clearly and make wise decisions. So he is definitely in a journey where he's learning a lot of new things with all of this air, and yeah, he's not really taking action again because he's in the process of just planning and knowing himself and the world around him, and just kind of familiarizing with himself and the possibilities that are available to him and that he's willing to take. But yeah, anyway, I'll see you guys on the next one, whenever that is, however that is. Love and healing from my part to you, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.